Today, I'm going to be sharing how I schedule my work week as a Christian mom and online business owner. So I am a mom of 4 young kids, and I run 2 online businesses in about 25 hours per week or less. And my weekly schedule is really key to what allows me to run those 2 businesses in such a short amount of time. So I used to not set a weekly schedule for myself, and I really just found myself wondering what to do with my days and if what I was needing to get accomplished was really getting done. And so I went ahead and started scheduling an hour-by-hour weekly schedule, and it has really changed the way I do business. My weekly schedule always starts out with my yearly goals. Everything that I do goes back to the goals that I have set for myself that I have said are the most important things in my business. So beginning of the year, I'm setting a couple of yearly goals for myself. I don't go overboard with this. I think simplicity is key to actually hitting goals. So I set maybe 2 to 3 goals for myself at the beginning of the year. And then that leads into my quarterly goals. What do I need to get done this quarter to make sure I hit those yearly goals by the end of the year? Those quarterly goals are what set me up for my monthly priorities. So at the beginning of every month, I jot down the top priorities of what I need to get done that month. And this list is usually pretty short for me, maybe between 5 to 8 things. The things that are absolutely the most important, the things that move the needle and that really need to get done to meet those quarterly and yearly goals. So once I have my monthly priorities set, each week, I will make myself an hour-by-hour weekly schedule. So Sunday, usually in the afternoon or evening, I jot down just a quick bulleted list of everything I need to get done that week. Now, this is where I really do get in the weeds with it and write down the things big and small that need to get done. So literally every single thing I need to do, whether it's responding to emails, recording a YouTube video, all of that goes in this bulleted list. And then I get out my weekly schedule where I have an hour-by-hour time slot of every day. I pick the hours that I'm going to work that week, and I fill in the things from that to-do list exactly where I want them on that schedule. So first, I look at, do we have any appointments this week? Do my kids have any school parties I want to make sure and not miss? Those go into the calendar first because family is first priority. Then I put in my standing to-dos. So for example, every Thursday, I record my YouTube video and podcast. So that gets put in on Thursday mornings. Every Tuesday is when I release those. So that automatically gets put in on Tuesdays. And then I go through my other smaller tasks and put them in the times that are left. And I really try to batch these remaining to-dos so that they are placed on my schedule with the things that are similar to one another. I don't know if you have done much batch working, but it can really save you, studies show, up to even 40% of productivity. So anytime your brain is having to switch between one task to another, you're losing a lot of time, and not only time, but really that deep focus. So for instance, if I'm going to be posting to Instagram, that all happens in one small time block for the entire week. I schedule it out. I am not spending time on social media every day. Once I have put all of my to-dos in my hour-by-hour calendar, I also make sure that I leave space for margin, at least a couple of hours per week where I am not scheduling anything for work or family life. It is just completely open. And I used to not do this. And then inevitably, as a mom of 4, I would get a call from the school nurse that a child was sick, or we would have an appointment come up that I had not planned. And I would get so frustrated because I felt like it was holding my business back because it would always be encroaching on one of these things that I had in my hour-by-hour calendar that I felt like I really needed to get done. So now I go ahead and just leave space for that. I leave some margin. I actually schedule it in. And if that time is not taken up by something that comes up with my family, then I still leave it open because it is so important for those of us in the creative field to have open space for creativity. So sometimes I will use that time to go on a walk or have coffee with a friend or read a book or just sit in silence on my back porch. And I find that those times really, really unlock creativity and innovation in my business. And those times often are the most crucial parts of my business. So I highly encourage you, if you are going to start creating a weekly schedule for your business, to make sure that you are scheduling in margin for yourself. Another thing that I do at least every month, if not every week, is to do a capacity audit for myself, because it's not only seeing how much time I have in the week to work on my businesses, it's also what is my mental and emotional capacity in this season, because it changes, especially if you're a mom, even if you're not. You know that there are times of the year or times of the month or week that you have more capacity than others. And I find it is so much more beneficial to just move with those ebbs and flows than to fight against it. So if I feel like there's a week where I felt anxious the week before, I felt overloaded, I scheduled myself too hard, I will pull back a little bit. I will do a capacity audit and say, you know what, I'm not going to do as much this week. And that is what creates sustainability, and that is what prevents burnout. Another thing I look at when making my hour-by-hour weekly schedule is what actually needs to be done. What is actually going to move the needle in my business? If you've heard of the 80-20 rule or Pareto's principle, it says that 20% of what you do in your business will actually bring 80% of the results. And if you look at the things that you're doing in your business and what is actually producing the income and new clients, you will see that often it is only about 20% of what you do gets you those results. So I make sure and know what that 20% is for my business, and I make sure that goes on my schedule first. Those other 80% of what I do, sometimes it gets put in my schedule, and sometimes it's things that I just let go because the payoff is not good enough. So making an hour-by-hour schedule for your business is not about squeezing in as much as you can. It's about getting clear on what you actually need to do and making sure that you create time for that in your week so that you do not get distracted by things that don't really matter. You want to build a business that works for you and your life, not the other way around. Doing more may get you somewhere, but doing the right things at the right time are actually going to get you where you want to go. Most people think you have to hustle and work day and night to create an online business. But the truth is, if you're working more than 20 to 30 hours per week, maybe with the exception of if you're in the middle of a launch, if you're working more than 20 to 30 hours per week, there's probably a lot of fluff that you can get rid of. And if you will just sit down and start to make an hour-by-hour schedule, make sure you're getting in that 20% of what you do that actually moves the needle, you can work in less time and actually make more income. I hope seeing this small view into what I do as I make my hour-by-hour weekly schedule will help you create a schedule that actually works for you and your life so that you can scale and grow your online business without sacrificing your life to do so. If you need more clarity and direction in your business, if you need someone to come along beside you and help you decide what goals are actually worth working toward and what things you need to really be spending your time on to move the needle, I would love to come alongside and help you. You can go to my website, melissaharmscoaching.com, and you can see what coaching opportunities I have at the moment. And I would love to just give you that one-on-one support that you and your business deserve. I'll see you in the next video.